Hello folks, welcome to episode 96 of Gottne Till I Die. I am the Custard Prophet. This is a save that has been going on since the start of FM20, but unfortunately this is the final episode, and we'll get into the reasons for that in a second. Last time we were together there was a little bit of a cliffhanger. We had a tough run of 5 games and we had to gather a certain number of points within that 5 games. Let's go and have a look how things went. Well, as you can see, unfortunately, I am no longer, not me, Sean Death is no longer manager of Gottne Football Club. And that is a fairly sad scenario. So Sean arrived a complete newbie and he left a very, very experienced manager. Let's have a look at what Shawnee has achieved in his time here. Won the Swedish Second Division Norrland, runners-up in the Swedish First Division, won the Swedish First Division Elite and the Swedish Cup, runner-up in the Euro Cup 2 and runner-up in the Swedish Premier League in 2033, and we've had a poor season this time. So let's have a look at what happened at the club. We'll rejoin the club and then we are going to go through the history of our time at Gottne. Hopefully it'll be a bit of a fun episode and a trip down memory lane. One thing that was interesting is that there was basically a mass exodus from the club. Almost everyone has left. all of the staff. Mirza Hasanbegovic, of course, he left. But let's have a look how things went. So we had that win over Falkensberg, and then we just were going to play Norrköping, who were struggling in the league, which is bizarre. As you can see, it didn't go particularly well. We were second best in this match, and that put us straight away on the back foot. We then played Elfsberg, which was not an easy game because they were third in the league. We went 2-0 up, goals from Asamoah, Papa Sal, but we couldn't. But we did enough to win that, so I was pleased with that. Then we beat the opponents in the second round of the Swedish Cup. Won't go through that with a rotated team, and then we played in a critical game, Djurgårdens. We had to win this game, and look who scored. Diop got himself the goal. Player we'd sold at the start of this season for 2.2 million to Djurgårdens, and that's enough. We got 9 points out of the games that was given to us. We needed 11. We didn't quite get the points tally that was requested, so we are no longer in charge of Gottne. Let's go right back to the start then. Right then, so here we are. I have loaded it up basically just before the Norrköping game, and we're going to use this version to go back all the way back to the beginning of our time at Gottne. Well, hello guys, welcome to Gottne. This is the Journeyman and I'm the Custard Prophet. Our first club on our long journey to Scandinavian dominance is Gottne. We started all the way back in 2019, so we are 22 years in the future, so hold back. What you may not realise, those who've been watching this series, is actually this series started out as a journeyman. So I was unemployed and looking for a Scandinavian job, and it was a Scandinavian journeyman. And Shawnee, the manager, he had a few options, but in the end decided to go for Gottne, who were in a lot of trouble at the time. As you can see, the start of this season was very, very poor for them, although they started to put things right. And we joined at 13th of the 7th, 2019. Yeah, so we joined 30th of the 7th, 2019. And what we managed to do was to put this team on a little bit of a run. You can see maybe some names that might ring a bell, the likes of Danny Harmon, Adam Johnson, very, very useful player at the very early start. And we put ourselves on a little bit of a run, as you can see, 3 games on the trot. We went back into a poor spell again, but You can see we picked up far more points in this period when we were in charge than compared to where they were started. So let's just have a look how that finished, or how that league finished. And you can see eventually it was tight, but Gottne finished 10th out of the 14 clubs. Only 5 points above the drop zone, but clearly we did what we needed to do. That next season we had a full transfer window to do some business. We completely changed the side, and one player that we bought in who was a feature for a number of years was Mirza Hasanbegovic. So he was the replacement for Johnson. He's not as good, but I signed him on loan from AIK, Bosnian international, decent finishing, decent first touch, composure of 11, which is unheard of at this level, but he's quick as well, pretty tall. I'm pretty happy with that. I think he's a decent player. Very early on he started to make a name for himself. Here you can see he's a coach currently at Gottne, but we bought him in on loan from AIK. You see, in that first season on loan, 24 games, 15 goals scored. He was instrumental in a very, very strong season. And you can see, although we had a couple of early losses, actually this season we were absolutely unstoppable. We finished top of the table, just ahead of Umeå. Now, there is a complicated playoff system if you finish second, so we avoided all that. We got ourselves guaranteed promotion into the next step above. So that was good. That was very, very good. Oto's got it. He's running. No one's anywhere near him. Beautiful ball out to Gunnan. Ball in. Cleared in the air. That's it. We've won the league. Nice. It was made easy. Obviously, at the time, we were still at a stadium with just 2,000 capacity. We had no money. We were a semi-pro club. It was hard going. But as we started to pick up things, as we started to improve, we started to get a bit better. And as we got up the leagues, we started to come into contact with better clubs, bigger stadiums, and we started to make money. So we finished up in the First Division South, and it was a tough old start. As you can see, we were really on the ropes here at the early stages of the season, but we rallied at the end and actually put in a really good run of form together. And in the end, this first season was incredibly successful, finishing 5th in the league, amassing 47 points. I mean, we lost a lot of games, but we won a lot of games. And a lot of that can be put down to Mirza Hasanbegovic and his qualities. We were starting to find our feet, and I mean, we weren't expecting to have to zoom through the leagues. We are a small club in a very competitive league system. But the next season, it was unbelievably strong. We had a great start to the season. Were unbeaten for quite a period. We lost the odd game here and there, but you can see things were really good. We had a game against top division Malmo in which we gave a decent account of ourselves, eventually losing 2-0, but wasn't too bad. And you can see that we got all the way to the playoff finals, where we played Ljungskile and won both of those games to get ourselves promoted. So in 4 seasons, we had risen up 2 leagues with this tiny little club. But then it's going to get tough. We were in the elite league. No, they're just looking at each other. He's still talking and he's gone. Ball's out. It's Nader. And Hasanbegovic runs after it. And that's it. That is it. Unbelievably, we have got ourselves another promotion. Absolutely unbelievable, fantastic stuff. So in 2023, this is what things look like in the Elite League. It was hard. Some decent sides up here. This is the division below the top tier. You can see we have the likes of Halmstad, Falkensberg, Östers, and Sundsvall, Sirius. A lot of teams that we came up against many times. It was a hard season. A really, really hard season. And in that first year, we survived by the skin of our teeth. We finished 12th. 13th would have got us relegated, but we did enough. We stayed up. And that is all we needed to start to maybe push on a little bit more. The season after that, we did a little bit better. We finished 9th. And you can see we are increasing our points tally, improving the squad as we go. And we're starting to feel like maybe, just maybe there is a chance. As you can see, that season started very poorly, but crucially, we ended it very strongly. And that took us into 2025. And in 2025, we found our feet in this league. And we did what we needed to do. And look at the teams that we were playing and beating. Not comfortably necessarily, or some of them quite comfortably, but the squad as a whole was improving. We were getting better and better, and we got ourselves promoted easily as champions into the top league, which is utterly mad. 2025, so we were promoted to the top league. So we've been in the top league now for 12 years. That's impressive. Didn't start off easy, not at all. Our first season in the Premier League was tough, but it went better than maybe we might have expected. You can see here that actually it was a poor start. We had tough games against Norrköping, Häcken, AIK. You look at the sort of players that we've got in here, the likes of Hassan Omatoye, Fredrik Knudsen. I mean, Hassan Omatoye, he was a great player, and you can see he is currently at Dynamo Kiev and worth £11.25 million. He's had a great career. Signed him on a free, went to Borussia Dortmund for £450,000. 29 goals in 19 games in our first season in the Premier League, which was pretty damn impressive. And went to PSV and did the business at PSV. So some quality players already coming in at this point. So where did we finish that year? Well, in that first year, we finished 8th, and it was a very respectable 8th place finish. 48 points, well above relegation. It was fairly straightforward. A season later, again, a tough start, but we came back into it quite nicely. You can see here we finished in a very similar position, 10th. So we are a respectable mid-table side at this point. But the season where it all kind of changed was this one. We were still this mid-table side, but we were in the group stages of the Swedish Cup. And you can see here we had a tough... well, actually not so tough. Örebro, Akropolis and Karlskrona. We went through that fairly comfortably, top of that division. And then we played Gefle in the quarterfinals, won through that. We had the likes of Paul in the side at this point. Sirius, we won that comfortably, and we got ourselves to the final. It was to be fair, an easy final. And our start to the season with all that going on was terrible. But we got to the Swedish Cup final where we played Malmo. And we won. An early goal from Sigurd Palsson. What could be better? A Swedish Cup victory. This was a YouTube premiere, my first and only YouTube premiere to date. It was utterly unbelievable. And what a moment for Gottne. And it meant we qualified for Europe for the first ever time. Simpson starting off.
Bernhardsson. It's come on, is that in? Oh God, Tenholm's made the tackle. Come on. Oh, that's it. Swedish Cup winners.
Didn't go well in Europe in that first season. We lost against Club Bruges in the Euro Cup, and then we lost against another side who I don't even know who they are in the Euro Cup too. So not brilliant in terms of our first ever European. In terms of our first ever European match, but we finished 6th, which is much better. So we were knocked out of Europe, but we started to get some money in the bank from Europe. We were starting to be able to upgrade our facilities, improve the ground, those sort of things. A season later, it was 2029, and things looked a lot better. What a start we had to that season. Knocked out the Swedish Cup early on. Had a tough old... weren't in Europe, obviously, because we finished 6th, but we had our best finish in the Premier League. No, we didn't have our best finish in the Premier League. We finished 7th, so 1 behind where we were before. But we are making progress. We were finishing 10th at the very start, and now we're sort of pushing our way up. But could we improve on that? Could we start to make a headway with these clubs who tend to be the ones who are sitting on top of the table? Could we get into that group? We are going in the right direction at this point. 2030, again, out the Swedish Cup early, but then things looked a lot better. We had a much better season. It finished poorly, it has to be said, but a very good start to the season where we were absolutely smashing anyone who came anywhere near us, apart from Dirge Gardens, as you can see there. What did that do to the league? Well, we finished 4th, and for the first time we managed to qualify for Europe based on our league position, which was an awesome thing. 52 points, best ever points tally at this point, and we were starting to push in amongst the big boys. We finished ahead of Malmo and Norrköping this time. That's huge. The 2031 season, again, we would be back into Europe, and you can see here a strong run in the league. Again, a poor end to it, and we didn't do particularly well in Europe. So we finished 5th, just outside of the European places, 51 points. We're certainly making progress at this point. It looks pretty good, like we are pushing on and hopefully going to get into that top 3, top 4 places again. So the 2032 season, it was... we got through the Swedish Cup, lost to AIK, regularly losing to them. But finally, we got into a European group stage. We had a poor run, as you can see, in September, but we got through to the group stage, which was very good. And as you can see, although it started poorly, we ended up doing very well and qualified for the latter stages of the tournament, which was massive. Decent run in the Premier League, as you can see. Some good spells, some bad spells. What was that look like in terms of league form? We finished 5th, again, just outside of the European places. Although I think it didn't always show up like this. It depends on who won the cup. So in some of these situations, we did qualify for Europe, but it's not actually showing it. And again, it's the usual suspects just ahead of us. So 2033. Again, we qualified from the Swedish Cup comfortably. But then things got very interesting, and this, I think, was our best season, bar none. This is where we were very good. We had the likes of Tinnerholm in the squad. We had the likes of Henningsen, a lot of the players that you will know and love. But we got all the way again to another cup final. And not only that, we got all the way to a European Cup final, and we played those 2 games, 2 days, one after the other, and lost them both. Lost 2-3 to AIK in the Cup final in a harsh last-minute goal from AIK to take it away from us.
Oh no, this would be cruel. Oh my. Really?
4 days later, we lost to Brøndby in the Euro Cup final, a Euro Cup 2 final, after a really great run winning against AZ, Basel, Bâle, Hajduk Split. A really decent run of matches to get all the way to that final. So it was absolutely fantastic. We got all the way there, but it wasn't to be.
We are getting a lot of money. Whatever happens here, we will get a lot of money. It's suddenly... I keep trying to... That's it. That is it. Second lot of confetti, and it's not for us. And we lose 2 finals in 2 games. That is disappointing.
2 finals lost, and that was the pinnacle of the season. In the league, we finished second, way behind AIK. There was never a hope of getting close to AIK, but this is the best finish in the league I had. 2033 was the best finish in the league I had, best European finish, and we got to the final of the Cup. So it was a really good year. And unfortunately, after that, we'd been in Europe for a long time. We were improving facilities, etc. We were getting better as a team, but we just weren't able to kick on from that. And I won't go through these next few seasons in detail, but you can see we finished 5th the season after that, 4th the season after that, 2035, and 4th the season after that, 2036. And this is the current situation. We sit in 9th, and you can understand, given what had happened before, why they might want to sack us. Well, that's where we finish, and it's been an absolutely epic thing being the Gottne manager, not just in the game, but also the interaction I've had with the club itself. So one story I don't think I've brought up a huge amount is that when COVID arrived, and the Gottne team were obviously having lots of troubles financially, as every other team, and they tried to be creative in the way that they were going to deal with that. And one of the things that they did was to reach out to me and ask me to play the same fixture they would have been playing on their very first day of the season, which I did do, and I released it on my YouTube channel. And they put a link on their Facebook page, and basically they had a guess the score thing. You could buy a ticket for send a bit of money to the club and guess the score. I think in the end I won 3-0, or the Gottne one, the team I put out, won 3-0, but it was awesome to be asked to do that. The club, which started with just 2,000 seater stadium, has got a new stadium in this process. Let's just marvel at the facilities, marvel at the finances. £5 million in the bank. Facilities now, we have, I know it's not a massive thing, a 4,393 seater stadium. We're getting an upgrade on that. You can see we're getting 2,000 seater upgrade on that. I mean, if we started to actually get some decent sized stadiums, then that might make a difference. So we have had an upgrade to the Gottne IF stadium, but and we have been trying to upgrade these. We've got average youth facilities, which isn't bad, because we start everything out as bad as you can possibly get. We haven't managed to upgrade absolutely everything to anywhere near what we could have done, and I don't think we had one single decent player through the youth system. But yeah, really pleased with what we've achieved here. So let's finish where we started. So at the helm of Gottne, we won the Swedish Second Division Norrland League in 2020. Then we're runners-up in 2022 in the First Division South. Then in 2025 we won the Swedish First Division Elite, which was very nice. And in 2028 we won the Swedish Cup. which was a huge thing and really the biggest trophy that we managed to get. But in 2033 was probably the biggest season at the club, and everything after that we haven't really managed to sort of recapture that form. Winning, finishing runners-up in the Premier League, finishing runners-up in the Euro Cup 2, and finishing runners-up in the Swedish Cup, which was an awesome achievement. So, yeah, I wanted to win the league with Gottne. That was what I set out to do. I finished slightly short of that goal, but I'm still incredibly proud of what I've achieved here. I want to say a massive thank you to everyone and anyone who's watched any one of these videos. It's been a privilege to do this series. I've really enjoyed it. There's been a number of people who've kind of followed the story and supported this story for sort of a long period, and I know there's been in FM21 it's been hard to follow it because it's the episodes have been coming out sporadically, but yeah, thank you to everyone for being a part of it. I hope you're not too disappointed that we didn't win the league. I think finishing runners-up is better than I ever thought I could do. I think finishing runners-up in the Euro Cup 2 was better than I ever thought I was going to do, but we did win the Swedish Cup. Okay, we're going to leave it there, but if you did enjoy this episode, please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you like this sort of content. It's got lots of other stuff going on, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye from Gottne. Goodbye.